The Travel Transformation Podcast is proud to be partnered with Give the Goodness Global, an amazing global outreach project helping families in need all over Southeast Asia and beyond. Please check them out at Instagram.com/Give the Goodness Global today. And now on to the podcast episode.
Welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast, where we talk all things travel and all things transformation, exploring the life-changing potential of solo travel, intentional travel, and location-independent working. Whether you're an aspiring digital nomad or simply wish to boost your confidence through epic travel experiences, I'm here to motivate and inspire you to go after all your wildest dreams. I'm Jessica Grace Coleman, author, certified travel coach, founder of the Travel Transformation Company, and your host for the Travel Transformation Podcast. Travel changed my life. Now let's change yours. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast, where we talk all things travel and all things transformation. My name is Jessica Grace Coleman and I'm your host. And today I'm talking to someone who has been on the podcast before. I think only the second guest to come back twice, Domi from Photo Walk in London. Now, I mentioned this in the conversation that we have. It's more of a conversation rather than an interview. But we did a previous podcast episode back in March, and that is number 29. If you want to go and listen to that, I'll put the link in the show notes. And basically, she is a photographer in London who has lots of packages, but she specializes in solo traveler photo shoots, which I think is a great idea because I've been to lots of places on my own and taken some terrible selfies because I don't want to ask random strangers to take my photo. You're always worried about people running off with your phone. If you've got a tripod, you're worried about people running off with your tripod and your phone. So I really love her mission to help solo travelers get amazing pictures in London when there's so many great landmarks around and stuff like that. So she came on my podcast. We scheduled photo shoot for me in London. I actually had to reschedule it because I left the country for several months, life of a digital nomad. So we finally got around to it in September. So it was last week as I'm recording this, but it will be a few weeks ago by the time you hear this podcast. And yeah, we just wanted to do a follow-up interview, conversation, just so I can tell about my experiences. I can talk about the pros and cons, and spoiler alert, there really aren't any cons. And yeah, just encourage other people. You don't have to be a solo traveler. I did mine as a kind of businessy photo shoot. She has loads of packages like dating app sites, breakup celebration pictures, which is one of my favorite ideas ever. And she also does, engagement shoots, family shoots, business shoots. Like I say, she does everything. And I think it's such a great idea. I had a great time when I went. As I mentioned in the discussion, it was when the heat wave was on, and I do not do well in heat. So I did feel a bit disheveled during the photo shoot, but that has nothing to do with Domi. And despite that, even with that, I had a great time and I'm really happy with the photos I got. So I'm going to stop rambling now because I talked to Domi about this for a little while and I'd like you to hear the conversation. And if you're interested at all in booking a photo shoot with Domi, as I say in the conversation, she makes it so easy, so fun, so comfortable. Even if you're super awkward like me and shy and you're sort of worried about it, don't worry about it at all. It will be a great experience. You'll get some great photos out of it. So head to the links in the show notes to go to her Instagram and her website. And yeah, just if you're thinking about it at all, get a free consultation with her because you will not regret it. Okay, let's get to the conversation. Hi, Domi. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for coming on. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm very good. I was so excited that finally I could meet you in person because we was planning our photo shoot for a while. And we talk about this going to make happen. So I'm glad I met you, and then I just sent you pictures. So I'm really looking forward for your feedback.
Yes, so I am so glad we got to meet in person as well. When you sort of only met someone online and then you meet them in real life, and it's a bit like, oh, you do exist. It's like, but it's kind of cool. Okay, so for the listeners, I'm just going to explain a little bit about what we're doing. So I interviewed Domi back in March, and that is episode number 29. So if you go to traveltransformationcoach.com/29, like the actual numbers, you can listen to the episode, you can get the links and the show notes, you can get a transcript of our conversation, and I'll put that in the show notes as well. So in that episode, we basically talked about why solo travelers should hire a photographer on their trip, the best spots to take photos in London, your many photography packages, including the flying dress, dating app photos, and breakup celebration pics, and how you can prepare for your very own fabulous photo shoot. So that's what we did. Maybe if you just want to explain a little bit for people who haven't heard the other episode, what you do, where you're from, and why you do it.
Of course. So my name is Domi. Originally I'm from Poland, but I'm trying to be British and just work out on my accent. I am photographer in London. My idea became like why I'm doing this was when I was traveling solo to Sydney. I was like, oh my God, I'm on the end of the world from Poland. And it's like, I spent so much money already for this trip. And who is going to take the pictures? That was back 2017 on the beginning. And then I was so sad because I was asking the strangers, nobody did take good photos of me. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, it would be so nice to have a friend who follow you. Don't ask too many questions. Just keep taking pictures of you. So then I somehow, because of my ex, I came and moved to London. And after like, this was end of 2017. And then in the meantime, I was like, oh my God, people is traveling solo to London. They might need my help. So I kind of like design or creating my business for solo travelers who is traveling solo to London and you don't know anybody, you don't know where to take the pictures. So I want to be like your Insta friend. And then this business started working so well from the very beginning. I just understand this market so well. I understand solo filmers who are traveling solo. They are kind of like, you're not sure if the place is safe. You don't know like if you can let someone else take photos of you. So I kind of want to be with you and support you with this. And then with the time, they started growing so quickly. So then I creating new packages like dating app photo shoot during the COVID time. And then I realized like, oh my God, you're traveling with like small bag. So you don't have to have like nice dresses. So I bought dresses for my clients, which one I'm renting as well. Now I have like very popular 2 dresses. Flying dress photo shoot is like red dress, and another one is pinky dress photo shoot. Is more like fancy dress, which is great as well for the pictures. So this is what I'm doing, and this is what I did with Jessica. So now I'm kind of curious because I didn't want to ask you before. I want to know your reaction. How was it the photo shoot? How do you feel like all the communication and all this feedback? I would really appreciate to hear.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm so glad we got to do this because it was kind of on my list to do this kind of photo shoot. I've done like one before, but like in a studio, it wasn't like out about in like different locations. And I thought, obviously London is a very cool place to do it. There's so many options. So yeah, the first thing that you sort of ask is like, where do you want to go? And I would recommend looking at Domi's Instagram because she posts so many videos and pictures of like her other clients and things like that. You can get a really good idea of some of the places she goes to because you go to like all the big London landmarks, don't you? Those, I'm assuming those are quite popular for travelers because, it's obvious you're in London and you want the shot with like Tower Bridge or with the London Eye in the background and that kind of thing. And I did consider doing that, but I also wanted to use this opportunity to get some shots for my business. So like, I'll talk about the props I took in a bit, but I was thinking about it. I was like, it would be cool to get some good landmarks in there. But then I saw some pictures that you'd done with people in Notting Hill, and I had been to Notting Hill briefly before. So I sort of had an idea of like the vibe of the area. But when I saw all these pictures with all the pretty coloured houses and all the flowers, it was just like so nice. I was like, I've got to go there, I've got to do that. So I decided on Notting Hill for the shoot. Then I booked a hotel. If anyone here is thinking about doing a photo shoot in Notting Hill, I booked one called the Bluebells Hotel, which is in Pembridge Square in Notting Hill, which is a great location for this because we were right near all the places we went to. I used booking.com. It wasn't the fanciest of places, guaranteed, but it was a great price for the location, I think. And I'm going to talk about this in a bit, but we kind of went during the September heat wave. It was last week, and it was for me it was very hot because I don't do well in the heat, but the room did have a fridge and a fan, so I was very grateful for that when I was getting ready. So that's where I stayed. And yeah, communication was great beforehand. And then the morning of, I got a message from Domi saying, do you want to meet half an hour later because it's foggy? And this was news to me because all I could see outside my window was a brick wall. I could not tell. So that was really helpful because I would have just like gone out and been like, oh, it's really foggy. So yeah, we met a bit later, but luckily the fog had cleared by then. It was like glorious sunshine. And I met you near the tube, super easy. And then we went off to do the shooting in the locations. And he did ask me if I had any sort of places I wanted to go, but as you get with a lot of for like travelers, they have no idea where to go. So the fact that you already have your favorite places and you know where we can start and go from there was really good. Do you get a lot of people who have no idea where they want to take shoots and you have to give them
Yes.
ideas, or?
Yeah, so I have most, because of how we say, like, I have most of the clients, they are tourists. So what I advise, like, so I'm open, like, send me some pictures when, like, for example, when you have like some dream spot that you always dream to have the picture. So I'm always open, like, I want to know before, because then I can organize this better. So because I'm thinking like, oh, this, like, nothing have so many beautiful spots, we miss so many different spots, because it's just like the time was just unlimited. So that's why we didn't visit. But that if someone's sending me like, oh, Domi, I want this spot, so then I will start the photo shoot over there. Oh, I will add this to the road. So I'm very flexible for my clients, because the photo shoot is not for me, it's just for you guys. And as well about like the weather, when we venture, I'm also open about the weather, because the London weather is crazy. You never know what to expect. And then when the shoot started, it was like the weather was not that nice, was like we couldn't see anything. So that's why I was like flexible, and I was like, if you want to like wait a little bit, that will be okay. But just to let you know, like, for everybody who is listening, is like just for you the best of the photos. Like, I have always a good intention. And when you make bookings with me, I also advise to book in the first days in you stay in London, because in case it's rainy or something happen, then we are okay to meet another day. But I always check this with my clients, because then maybe you have some another plans. So I don't mind to travel to you on time we schedule, but just to double check for your comfort. If you're okay, we can meet a little bit later or another day or the same day, just to make sure like we get the best photos.
Yeah, and that flexibility, like you say, is so important in a place like England where you cannot predict at all how it's going to go. So yeah, that's really good. So yeah, I just want to say, if anyone's listening and they want to book a photo shoot, but they're like, they've never done anything like it before, they're nervous, they're like worried that they will look awkward or be awkward, you know, they won't know what to do with their hands, that kind of thing. None of that matters, because you are a pro, you know exactly what to do, you know you know what to tell people to bring for props to like hand like hold, so you've got something to do with your hands, because I think that's a big thing. You sort of like, you're trying to act natural and you have no idea what to do with your hands, like you just sort of stand there with them on your hips or that kind of thing. So like having your sunglasses to hold, having a hat to hold, again, I'll talk about all the props I brought in a bit, but that was really good. And then you know, you give pointers on where to look, how to stand, how to put your feet, how to walk, all that kind of stuff. So you really don't have to think about it, you just do what you tell us to do, which is great. And also, you know, Domi's super nice, she's so like easy to talk to. You'll just be walking around having a nice chat in between the shoots. It's just like hanging out with a friend, and I think that really helps people who are sort of a bit nervous. It helps them become a lot more comfortable with it. And you know, to get the like happy positive shots, you were sort of making me laugh, you were like, you know, saying things to make me laugh, and that just adds to the whole vibe of it. You know, it's not like a serious photo shoot, it's like a fun hanging out with friends, and you just happen to be getting lots of cool photos at the same time. So I really like that about it.
Yeah, I just want to add here, because it's like many people will think like it's just me, I don't know how to pose. So like most of my clients, they never know how to pose, and always this is the repeat questions, like, oh, I don't know what to do with my hands, oh, I don't have double chin, I have this one, I don't like this. So many people is ask the same question. So I kind of know people after like almost 6 years doing this in London. I know how people think, and I know what they're going to ask me. So I just always suggest just relax. Give me like 10 first minutes. I'm going to see you how you like what to do, and then I'm going to guide you what to do. And I always like after each of the shot, I always double check with the pictures if this is what you like or this is something I'm learning you. And after 10 minutes, you're going to be like pro model. So nobody who never have photo shoot, don't worry about this. I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah, exactly. That's another good point as well, that you sort of show as we're going along the pictures you're taking. So like you can see what you look like, you can see how it's going, what the shots are like, and you sort of get more of an idea of what we're sort of aiming for with the whole shoot. So that was really good. I think I'd just like to point out as well that I think some people worry about doing this in public, especially in a place like London where it's, you know, so busy all the time. And I would recommend sort of, I think you say this as well when people book in, if you don't want as many people, you know, strategically book your times and that kind of thing. So we did it at like 9, half 9 on a Monday morning. So, you know, there's still people around, but it wasn't, you know, like vast amounts of people. And also you don't really tend to notice, like obviously some people have to wait while you're taking the photo on the street. They'll just wait politely and then go past. And then, you know, some people will be staring and like trying to figure out what's going on, but it's like really not a big deal. Like most of the time, you know, you're just focusing on what you're doing, like what you're telling me to do. And you sort of can block out, you know, anyone who might be staring from a distance or anyone who's waiting to go past. It's like, it's really not a big deal. And I think that might put people off. So yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's most also like people like when they are looking at you, it's more like looking like, oh, maybe it's like Beyonce, or maybe it's like someone famous, you know? Because when I'm coming with my big cameras, people just pay attention because they are like curious about what is happening. This
Mm.
is the same like someone is like say something more loud and talking to something, you pay attention because you're just curious what is happening. And then I love people in London. They are very friendly, and they're always like having, they're always smiling, so they're not bad intention when someone is looking at you. They just curious about like how glamorous you look.
That's it. They thought I was famous. That must be the explanation. Absolutely. Okay. Another point I'd like to make is that I saw a lot of that area that I'd never seen before. Like I say, I'd been there before, but just sort of walking through. I haven't really hung out there. I went there the day before and sort of walked the main places, but we went off the main touristy bits and, you know, found some really nice places to shoot. So I wouldn't have found some of those roads on my own. You know, I wouldn't have thought to walk down that place and, you know, go around that area. So I think if you're in London for the first time specifically, or even if you're not, if you're just in a, you know, part of London that's new to you, this is worth it alone because you get to see so many more places. And you mentioned before that you are like that Insta friend, which I really love. So if you are a solo traveler, you've never been to London, or you don't know anyone in London, then as soon as you get there and you've done this photo shoot, or even before, then you already know someone that you can message if you're like stuck with transport, or, you know, you don't know where to go or that kind of thing. You already have someone that, you know, you can contact, which I think is a huge thing because I solo travel to places and not knowing anyone can be a bit daunting. Like you think like, oh God, what if something happens and I can't remember who I need to call, you know, like anything like that. It's just nice knowing you've got someone there, even if you never have to message them. So I think that's a really good point. So I love the locations we went to. So I've just written a few like down to let people know what we did. So there's like I said, there's lots of pretty coloured houses in Notting Hill. We took lots of pictures outside houses, like sitting on a wall outside, sitting on the steps outside. You did point out that some people have put signs that say, you know, like no photos, or there's like a barrier across the steps. And I can understand why, but you know, a lot of places are still okay. And we didn't get chased by anyone, so that's good. So
Yeah. Yeah, we with this like area, like we need to be careful and pay attention because it's like a private, like some of the places is like private, so people they are not allowed to do that, and we need to like respect this as well when we are around this area. I will be like suggest to be more quiet because some people they are like working or doing something. So yeah, just being respectful is going to help us with the photo shoot, and then if they're not allowed to go there, just let's not break the rules. I would
Yeah,
say this
exactly.
way.
Yeah, it's just like sensible things like being respectful, being quiet, like you say, not spending, like half an hour in front of one house, just doing a few shots and then walking on and that kind of thing. And that worked fine, no problems. We got some really great pictures with some like really nicely colored houses. Like I say, there was some steps that I sat on. We took some photos outside a really cool shop on Portobello Road called Alice's, which was really great. It has like the Portobello Road sign in the shot. And I don't know, is it like an antique shop or like a sort of, it's like a random shop, isn't it, with loads of cool stuff. So it's a really cool place to go. We also found like a table on the street and I pretended to be working and podcasting.
And this was great for your portfolio, for
Yeah,
your business.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I've got so many photos I can use now. And we also went to a super cute residential street that was a filming location for Love Actually, the part where Andrew Lincoln does the famous sign thing for Keira Knightley. And there were ridiculously cute houses there. So I'm glad we went there. And then we ended up at another part of Notting Hill that I had never been to before, with some like much bigger, like brightly coloured houses with huge steps out the front, which was a really great like area to take photos in as well. So those are the main places we went to, and yeah, I really liked all of them. I think my favorites were, we had like a pink house with like flowers everywhere and like a bike, and it just looked really cute. It was in that little Love Actually street, and I think I'm going to use that for the main podcast image for this episode, so people get to see that and they'll know what I'm talking about. I really like the shop, Alice's, the steps, the like pretty pink steps I sat on pretending to read my own book. Really good. And yeah, I wanted to talk about the props because you recommend bringing props, like no matter what kind of photo shoot you're having, I imagine. But it will be different for each type, right? So like if
Yeah,
you're
it's kind of different, but it's like some we like we didn't want to use this Zoom call. We didn't have the call, but every photo shoot, like most of the photo shoot packages, they have also Zoom call consultation. So before we're going to meet for the photo shoot, we're going to have consultation just to get know each other, like know what you like to have photo shoot. For example, we have like travel photo shoot, but you want to add something like business, and I don't mind to do that. Like you can bring some like business stuff with you. But for example, for dating apps, we might use different kind of props. For travels, more like holiday moods props, and for like business something else. Or you can bring, like for example, you book for 3 or 6 hours photo shoot, we can all mix together. For example, we can have some photo shoot for dating apps, for your business and everything, and we can all do the same, all like together. And that's why I would advise to bring props with you, because it's like how you're saying, like you don't know what to do with your hands, and it's like so great. So keep something, for example, sunglasses. So at least you have sunglasses and you're like, oh, I'm not so awkward. I'm feeling more comfortable. Yes. Or you can have some like your bag or hat with you, or like you can as well bring some makeup or hairbrush. Sometimes in London it's so windy, especially when we are close to river like Big Ben or Tower Bridge. So it's always, after a while, it's good to like good like new look, or like make the hair much more organized. So it's great to bring. And as well, what I advise people, you bring some good shoes, but some people, they want to have some heels, which is not comfortable at all. But as well, when you're going to work a lot, you can bring some like comfortable shoes, like some sneakers or something like that, just to work from one spot to another. In the heels, the rules is like to look good on the pictures, but to work comfortable, I would suggest you to bring some comfortable shoes.
Yes, that is a great tip. And I'm intrigued for the breakup celebration photo shoot. What props do you bring for that?
Oh, this
You're
was
just like champagne,
I
you're just
love this.
living your best life.
Yeah, yes, that just to make him jealous or her jealous, like what they lost. So yeah, that's the intention, the most intention. Like last time I got request, which I was saying to Jessica about like this photo shoot, and she wants to have a photo shoot for after divorce, and it was great. I love this so much. She was traveling, and then she booked the flying dress photo shoot. And then she said, Domi, to be honest, this is photo shoot for my divorce. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. I was like so motivated, so commitment. It's like, let's make him jealous.
Yes.
So then as well. Like you can bring like champagne, some like just imagine like how happy of your freedom you are. So
Mm.
you can bring some extra outfits with you, just show how glamour you are. You can go for makeup artist before you're going to meet me, do your hair. We can go to some like fancy restaurants, coffee shops to take this kind of pictures. But just my goal, I like this kind of stuff. Just my goal is to make this person jealous that they left you or you left them or they didn't take care of you. So I want this kind of pictures, and I love this so much. This project, this photo shoot was very fun.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. And yeah, I think nothing says freedom more than being in an epic flying dress in a
Yes.
beautiful location in London, maybe with a glass of champagne in your hand. That is just
Yes.
perfect. And if you're wondering what we're talking about, the flying dress, we do discuss it in the other episode. So go back and listen to that. That's episode 29. But yeah, that sounds so awesome. Okay, so the props I took because I knew I wanted to use them for my business, use them to promote this podcast. I'm an author, use them to promote my books. So I took with me, well, these aren't business related, but one of the favorite ones I had was the sunglasses, like you mentioned, because you can get, you can wear them, you can not wear them, you can hold them, you can be in the process of taking them off in a picture. There's so many things you can do. And it gets rid of the what do I do with this random hand? Like, I don't know what to do with this. If you're holding sunglasses, it looks more natural than if you're just sort of like flapping your hand around. So definitely would recommend taking sunglasses. I took a hat, like a big sun hat with me, and I held it in a few shots. It was on the table in some shots. I didn't wear it, which is probably a good thing because it had become rather squished in my suitcase on the way down. So make sure you don't squish your hat on the way to London if you want to wear it. But that was another great prop, especially when it was the sunny day like we had. Sunglasses and sun hat makes a lot more sense when it's sunny. And then work stuff. So I took my laptop, which I think is good for anyone who's doing a kind of business shoot. You can pretend to be working, you can pretend to be being productive. It looks quite, it looks kind of like a candid shot more than like a posed shot if you want that kind of thing. Like if you're pretending, like I'm a digital nomad, so I can work from anywhere. So the fact that I was sitting outside in London on the street, just working away, that is what I would be like maybe doing anyway. And it's a good way of showing like, hey, this lifestyle means you can literally work from anywhere. So I like that kind of aspect to it. I also brought my big Blue Yeti mic with me because I'm a podcaster, as you know. And I also knew we'd be recording this podcast about the photo shoot, the follow-up episode. So I've got some with me with my laptop and the microphone next to it. So it looks like I'm sort of like Zooming like I'm doing now, doing like recording an interview. So that's really useful. I can use that when I'm like talking about my podcast, that kind of thing. And like I said, I also took a few books with me that I'd done. And it helped that they had different coloured covers, I think, because we sort of like tried a few in like different areas, didn't we? And we saw what looked good. But there were some like pink steps, and I used the blue book, and it like was a really good contrast, that kind of thing. I also considered bringing like an iPad. I guess you could use like your iPad or your phone if you wanted to look businessy, like that. Those are good props that you probably already have with you anyway. Maybe a notebook and pen. I thought about doing that, but I already have my laptop with me. My suitcase was already super heavy, so I didn't bring those in the end. But like that could be another idea. I don't know if you have any other like suggestions if people want a sort of businessy photo shoot. Are those the main things you tell people to bring, like your laptop and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so this is like easy. This is the number one, like when we have like, or even sometimes when I have for dating apps photo shoot in their entrepreneur, if their business, that I also suggest them to bring a laptop, like some computers that they're working in the coffee shops. But yeah, definitely what you bring was very great. I will add maybe some like notice, like you're on the phone and you like notice something. This is also great to bring. And then for business as well, I will suggest maybe some like another jackets because it's very easy to change, and then we can just look differently slightly, and then different background, and people then you have your portfolio for many months, and you don't have keep repeating meeting your photographer me every month. Even I would love to meet everybody every month, but it's just for, like to have more photos with different background. You can bring another jackets because when we do these coffee shops or something, I just see your whole body and you have different look with your different jackets. So that's will be my main things. as well you can bring some like what about your product is, for example your makeup, so you have your makeup stuff, this is what you are selling, you can bring some of your products when you are like using this, or you're doing something else like you have max, like you produce max, you can bring your mac, your favorite mac, and then we can do this kind of pictures as well. I don't mind, I don't charge you more because it's like business photo shoot, that the price is the same like for any another photo shoot package. And then I bring this kind of stuff that show your brand, that is going to show what you do, because it's going to help your business. And when it's a win-win business, or like when I help you, your business is growing, it's always give me big satisfaction.
Yeah, definitely. Are you ready for adventure? Are you ready to become location independent? Are you ready to create your ultimate dream lifestyle? Then I have just the thing for you. The Flip the Script Academy with me, Jessica Grace Coleman. My online academy, which is bursting with life-changing courses and resources, is for anyone who feels stuck in life, wants to make a change, would like more meaning and purpose in their life, wants to shake things up, especially after the pandemic, wants to start or grow a business or side hustle they can run from the road, wants to incorporate travel into their lives in all kinds of different ways, or is simply ready for an epic transformation. For more info, just head to traveltransformationcoach.com/academy. And now, back to the Travel Transformation Podcast. You mentioned there the sort of, if you do a longer photo shoot, you take different clothes, different jackets, different accessories and stuff like that to mix it up. So what lengths of photo shoots do you offer if anyone's interested in booking one?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What lengths of photo shoots do you offer? So there's like, we did an hour and a half, but you do longer ones. Like what can people book if they want longer ones?
So the most of the time the people books for like 3 hours. That's started to be very popular, and the last time like 6 hours is getting more popular, because then it's all day. We have the time to like really get know each other and travel. We can, for 6 hours we can visit all London, to be honest. And then 3 hours is still great. It is very great, and I think maybe on the beginning I would suggest like for 3 hours if you have the time, because some people they don't have the time. So 1.5 hours is great, like for one allocation. If you want to visit more places like Tower Bridge, London Eye, Notting Hill, 3 hours. If you want to visit even more of these places, then 6 hours is great.
Yeah, and we'll put the links in the show notes later as well. I just wanted to mention one thing, because you did mention it before. So the last time you came on this podcast, you didn't have the pink dress, and the pink dress looks incredible. Can you tell me about this? Can you explain to our listeners what it is and what it looks like, and why would someone book this kind of shoot? Because it's a very glamorous looking dress. So can you tell me a bit about it?
Very unique. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's very unique and new. I have this dress from like June, I think, and there was so many long story about this dress, because I should have this dress on May, but there was some delays from this lady. But anyway, the dress arrived, and it's just so huge dress. It's like 5 kilo dress. So I'm wearing. When someone book the photo shoot, I have to have my own suitcase, and then I the dress in the suitcase. And so the dress is very big, so it's very glamour, have so many like layers. And then if you want to really like look, if this is your birthday, for example, like important day in your life, or something happening, like you open your business or you success, something like you want to choose yourself, I think definitely this dress is for you, because it's going to feel you like everyone is then now we're going to look at you, because they'll be like, oh wow, I like your dress. Everyone is going to give you compliments when they're going to see you, and it's so much fun. You're going to like, we can do when on the end of the photo shoot, usually I ask my clients to like, okay, let's run. So with the dress, so you're holding a little bit of the dress and you run, and it looks so nice when the layers is like flying. This looks very gorgeous and make you very like princess. Yeah, I think it's make you feel very special, and I think it's very good for special occasion if you want to treat yourself good.
Yeah, it's definitely a princess dress. It's like a lovely sort of soft pink,
like Barbie.
Yeah, exactly. And now, since Barbie's come out, it's made me think of like it's like a Barbie dress, but like way better than the dresses in Barbie. It's like
it's more like
way more glamorous,
like next level.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So yeah, that's check those out on her Instagram as well, because you've got lots of pictures and videos of that dress and it looks incredible. Okay, so we did the photo shoot. This podcast episode will be released a few weeks later, but we did it last Monday and you sent the photos through last night. So it only takes a week for you to get the photos, which I think is great. And I know you have different options so people can, get them photoshopped in certain ways if they want. You took about 200, I believe, which is amazing. And you sent through 25 of like the best ones. So that was really great. And then you also have the option to buy the other ones if you want to see them all. So I think that's really cool as well. So what options do you give people for the editing of the photos and that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. So the best of the packages, which one we like booking for the when we say this is the 1.5 hour, is including 25 edited photos, and then this is like standard editing pictures. So like lighting, colors, or this kind of stuff as well, because some people they don't want this, some people they want this, so that's why I including the standard photos, which is like is cheaper version. Like you don't have to pay the extra because maybe you don't want this. But as well, if you want extra some editing like full face retouch, you want to make yourself slimmer or change color of your hair or remove something from your hair or make you smile so beautiful, then it's like additional charge. But then I always prefer to get, because some people they don't want this, they prefer to have natural pictures. So first is always like the standard editing is including, and in case you need any extra editing, then always I am happy to do that. And what not many photographers is doing this, I also offer not editing photos. So because I'm going to delete the pictures. So in case you feel, and especially we take so many pictures, in case you want these pictures, you can buy additional the photos, and not many photographers agree to do that. Many photographers delete all the pictures and you're not going to see anymore. I don't mind. I don't mind to send you all not editing photos if you need for additional.
Yeah, that's great. It's good that you offer so many options, especially like the changing the hair color. That sounds quite fun. That's amazing. And yeah, I got them last night. I looked through them. Yeah, really like them. Like the colors really pop, like all the colorful houses, all that kind of thing. I didn't look as awkward as I thought I would, which is always good. And like you say, like you get into it, and by the end of the however like long you've booked, you do feel a lot more natural doing it. You don't worry about other people looking at you. You don't worry that you look awkward because you're seeing the photos as you go along, like you're showing them as you go along. And yeah, I really like them. I like the ones you chose. Like there's like, the main locations you went to, there's like a few from each place, different, like the backdrops obviously keep changing. We did a lot of different poses, lots of different props, like I said. So there are so many ones that you can use for, well, that I can use for my business, but then there's also some just sort of nice ones of me that I don't often get because I don't walk around with a professional photographer. So like that's really cool anyway. And yeah, I really liked, it only took a week. I think sometimes if you go for a professional shoot in like a studio or something, it can take like several weeks to get them back, and you're like just waiting. You're like, oh god, I wonder what I look like.
You forgot about the photo shoot already, and then you're like, oh, that's what is the email.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I prefer to do like this. I think it's sometimes I'm feeling bad because like a week sometimes is so long for people, and they are feeling but I just have so much work. Like I have so many clients per day, week. So that's why they're like the pictures is like getting more on my computer. So that's why I need to take, and I don't want to rush as well. Like I want to make sure like that you are happy with this. Like there is not going to be like, oh Domi, I don't like this. So I want to make sure like I don't rush with this editing, and then I take the time and I always look like zoom on the photo, like look that you have open eyes, the smile is beautiful. So I always want to make sure like I deliver the best for you.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good timescale. And the eyes thing you mentioned made me laugh because whenever anyone takes a photo of me, I have to ask them to take several because my eyes are closed in like 90% of them. So I'm glad you managed to get some with my eyes actually open. And also, if you've got sunglasses on, top tip, you can't always tell if your eyes are open.
Yes.
So if you have that issue, definitely.
Yeah, that's my favorites. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so that was my experience. All the things I've mentioned are pros, and I think I only have one con, and it has nothing to do with you. It's just because we did it in a heat wave. For Britain, it was a heat wave. Like for other countries, it probably wasn't that hot, and I'm not that great in the heat. My hair goes crazy in the humidity. I'm sweating. So like I would say if you're like me and you're not good in the heat, then like book your I mean, I did. I thought I'd booked it strategically. I didn't want to do it in the height of summer, and then then we had a heat wave in September. But yeah. So if you're not good in heat, maybe book it in winter. Like just think about it a bit strategically. But again, we were so lucky that we didn't have the wind, the rain, the grey skies.
Yes.
So like we had some amazing weather, like with the sun and everything. And yeah, if you're not as bad as me in the heat, then it won't matter. But maybe think about that when you're booking it for the time of year and that kind of thing. I
That's very true. Sometimes, like now in September, this shouldn't be so hot, but
exactly.
just the crazy weather in London. So I would suggest like super morning, like 7 a.m. or like then it's still like okay weather, or like late afternoon. So
Yeah.
like, but it depends. Like every day is different. That's why I would suggest you to like when someone is choosing the days of photo shoot, choose on the first day on your trip to London, because in case this happen, like the weather is crazy, then we can meet another days.
Yeah, it's a good point about picking the time as well. Like maybe early morning would be better if it's gonna likely to be hot. Like you can never tell. Obviously in England with summer, we didn't really have a summer, and then in September it was like, wow, I feel like we're in Spain or something. So you can never tell. But yeah, I was very, very grateful that it wasn't raining and windy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was great. Yeah, do you have anything else you want to mention about either the shoot we did or like your services, your packages in general?
Yeah, I just want to say people, because many people that we overthinking about everything. Like, I'm not sure if this is for me. I'm shy, camera shy. Like, if you are not sure if this is for you, you can always meet me on Zoom call. I offer like free consultation, and then just treat me like your friend. Like, tell me like, Domi, this is what I just don't like about myself, this side, double chin. Or I'm stressed about something, like, oh, I'm conscious about people, like they looking at me. So I will always advise, I will always try to find you and help you. And if you find the idea and the plan and it's working for you, then we can always meet. And then if you say like, oh, Domi, this is not really for me, like you didn't help me enough, so then that's okay too. Like it's always good to talk. I'm always open to talk. I try to reply for all the messages very quickly. So then if you think like this might be for you but you're not sure, just go to my website. You can book a free consultation. There's no more like, this is not like, oh, we have this consultation and you have to book. No, you make decision later after the 15 minutes if we switch, like we like our vibe is connected. Because sometimes you meet people and you're like, oh, she's too, I don't know, so she's something too much, and then we might not connected. But if we met and we meet and we're going to have the conversation, you're going to feel if this is for you, and I will be reply for all your questions. So in case you have any question, just please reach me, and then I am your friend, your Insta friend in London, in case you're traveling here, and I'll be happy to help you.
Nice. And I think that is a good point to make, because I'm pretty shy. I'm not like, I don't like being the center of attention. I'm not confident in front of a camera. Like I'm the kind of person you would think would never do a photo shoot like this in the middle of London where it's busy, all that kind of stuff. And I did it. I had a great time. Like it's lovely meeting you in person, and you made it really fun. It wasn't like this sort of horrible, like serious thing where you're like worried that, it's not going to turn out right. And you're worried about looking like an idiot.
Photographer don't talk to you. It's like
yeah, exactly.
I have so many situations, like many, I'm sorry to stop you, but this is so funny when you talk about this, because many photographers, they don't talk to the clients. And it's like how you can feel comfortable, because like you don't know if you're doing something wrong or you're doing something good, or what is happening, or why he's not talking to me. And when people talk to you, they treat you like a friend, not like a client, or oh, I have to do the photo shoot. the vibe is so different, and you start feeling much more comfortable. And like, to be honest, Jessica, I didn't know you are shy. Like, I didn't see this on the, like, I was feeling like, oh, let's make this happen. I didn't even think you are shy. So it's like how you see yourself is so different how people see you. So I'm glad you say this to me right now, because I just to tell you that it was not shy for me.
Oh, that's nice to hear. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, if I can do it, and just think of it as being like a fun experience, and then a huge bonus is that you get these great photos at the end. Like, focus on having fun in the moment and not about the photos if you're like worried about how you look and that kind of thing. Like, just don't think about that. Just think of it as doing something different. Like, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone is always good. You always feel like good after you've done it. And yeah, just having fun in like a cool place. London is very cool, lots to do, lots of great backgrounds you can have, and yeah, just go for it. If you're worried about any of that stuff, as soon as you meet Domi, you'll be put at ease, so don't worry about any of that. Okay, great. Okay, so my last question, and I'll put these in the show notes, is where can people find and follow you online?
So you can find me on Instagram, Photowalk in London, and as well, if you want to take a look at my packages, you can visit my skillandstudio.com. We're going to add this, how to write down this in the below, and then in case you have any question, you can always reach me on Instagram or on website. You can book the free consultation, and don't worry, I'm working like 7 days per week. There is no weekends for me. And then I can always reply for your question. And then I'm not feeling shame. I'm not complaining. I really love what I'm doing, and I love serving people and make you feel comfortable.
Oh, yeah, and you are a very easy person to get in contact with, so that is very helpful, definitely. And yeah, definitely take her up on the free consultation offer if you're not sure about this, but you've heard about this and all that kind of thing. And I'm going to put some of my photos on my Instagram as well, so you can see that. I'll put the link to that in the show notes as well. And yeah, I just want to thank you so much for the photo shoot and everything around it. You made it so easy and fun. And I want to thank you for coming on now, because I know you're busy and I know you're off to Poland tomorrow. So thank you for squeezing me in.
Thank you so much for coming for the show. It was very nice to work with you. Hopefully see you again somewhere. Yeah. Maybe we can do another podcast with flying dress, and then you can share your thoughts about your flying dress. How did you feel, like glamour or pinky dress? The pinky dress is 5 below, so gosh. Just make sure you have the power.
Yeah, that.
And hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. That would be amazing. I would definitely book more into winter though, just so I'm not sweating. But absolutely.
Oh, Christmas is coming. That is also a great time.
Christmas shoot. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, well, thank you again for coming on and for all your help with the photo shoot. It was really cool.
Thank you. Nice to having you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Travel Transformation Podcast with me, Jessica Grace Coleman. If you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, rate and review, and spread the word, because it's my mission to help as many people as possible to flip the script on their lives and transform through travel. And remember, life is short, so let's make sure it's nothing short of amazing. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.